Mandy. I'm doing an assignment for my gender and society class. We're doing an assignment called Art as a Liberating Act, and I'm doing an assignment. I wrote a series of slam poetry, 8 different poems, and I am going to be reading them. Here's a little bit of a trigger warning for some people. There's some very intense content within this series, so I hope you guys enjoy. Awesome, thank you. The first poem, 10 things I want to say to my period. 1, fuck you. 2, thank you for giving me Satan's sacrificial waterfall to award me for not having a life blooming in my stomach which would have blossomed in the spring, like I asked for your judgment, like I asked for Eve to eat the goddamn apple. Do you even know the pain that women face? Not only do we face period pain, but far too often do we face rape pain. 3, ew, I look fat in that. Ew, and that. Where did this fat roll come from? Like rolls of bread beneath thick skin. Forget it. Where are my sweatpants? I cannot find my chocolate bar, and I'm craving movie theater popcorn for the 3rd time this week, and if I go, they're gonna look at me funny. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ugh, it's only been 4 hours. I should wait 6 to take more Advil. No, stop playing this xylophone on my spinal cord. I am not an instrument to be played at your leisure. Forget it. Where is the Advil? I cannot take the xylophonic pain anymore. And the heating pad? Yeah, that does not help either. 5, I hate you. Period. 6, I love those underwear. Why would you? Soaking through the 2 layers of protection that I plastered on so I wouldn't look like a freak. Taking my entire 7-subject backpack to the bathroom with me like it was my best friend. Like we go on vacation together. You don't want to be known as that kid. The kid on there. Period. As if being on my period is something to be ashamed of. As if being a woman is something I should be ashamed of. 7, yes, it is my time of the month. No, that does not make me any more emotional. Guys, I dropped a jelly bean. I dropped a freaking jelly bean. Why would you? How could I be so cruel? Live, jelly bean, live. I'm sorry. As a waterfall of tears goes down my body, only moments later for me to be hating you because you just knocked my jelly bean out of my hand. 8, no, I'm not afraid to ask you in front of everyone for a pad or a tampon. I am woman and I bleed, period. Try living in my skin. Try bleeding from your uterus as it sheds its walls. At least I know how to shed all my unwanted materials. And do not be ashamed to pick up pads and tampons for me. This should be your pleasure. Or should I bleed all over your white carpet? Because I am not afraid of you. Because I am not afraid to bleed. 9. If I bleed through my pants, please tell me. You are not embarrassing me. You are saving me. 10. Maybe one day this will all be worth it. When I am holding a pink blanket in my hands with my husband's fingers interlocked in mine and big smiles on our faces, maybe one day I will be thanking you. I am woman, and my heart bleeds easy. I am woman, and I bleed. Period. Okay, the next poem is called Facebook Message. This is the 2nd poem in a series of 8. I'll wait for you. I will wait for you until the sun goes down and lets the entire world go dark and cold, and the moon gets warm. I will wait for every text message until the rain stops. I will wait for you no longer to feel the air in my lungs. You stopped feeling the air in my lungs, and I was healthy until that day in February. I asked myself what to do. What I do when my rapist messages me on Facebook, and I figured it out. You just click ignore and you do not reply. And you do not reply. Do not reply. You find it in yourself to forgive him. Everyone told you not to do this, never to let him come into your house again. And when he shows up at your front door, the same when he left with that smile, please invite him in for a glass of tea. Learn what he has been up to, because there's nothing better than to forgive the broken, even when that person left you so broken. Remember, every river goes downstream. The person only gets to pick when they get out of the water and follow it uphill. I was told when my rapist shows up at the door, do not let them in. No one knew he touched me impurely. I was pure. Hands never crossed the center of my back. You were a substance and you totally abused me. I was a balloon on a string around a little girl's finger, and you followed me wherever I went because I was just a girl who never spoke up. I was so pure with you, never floating away, and I never popped. I wanted nothing more than to make sense of you. I wanted nothing more than your substance. Like, holy shit, you were better than the way cocaine is addictive. Ancient Babylonians did math in base 60 instead of 10, and that's why we have 60 seconds in a minute and 360 degrees in a circle, and I felt like I was stuck in a circle with you, and 360 degrees around and around and around, until the day you thought that the real substance should be involved, and I watched the bubbles in my drink, and I looked at you with big eyes, and it burned my throat as it went down, and rape victims are 26 more times likely to abuse drugs, and I decided I didn't want to be addicted to drugs, and I watched you cut my family in half because I wasn't there for them, and drugs cut my family in half as it sliced open every wound we had left, every bleeding on the ground, after he invaded my body like needles invaded my family's skin and opened wounds. Blood was the color I learned that I loved. It dripped from my sister's veins, and that as they were trying to figure out why it burnt their nose and not their veins, blood dripped from between my legs, red leaf stains, something like tears do. I bled for weeks after you did this to me. It dripped from the corners of my mouth as my face became pale, as I kept my body held over the toilet because after you did this to me, I felt an impulse in my skin. I forgave you, and I couldn't live with the pain of not forgiving you. Forgiving you gave me some sort of closure within myself, told me everyone wanted me to bleed. Watch the substances drip from me. I stopped spraying your cologne in my room because I didn't fear that scent anymore. I didn't need to fear that scent anymore because I didn't fear blood anymore, and I didn't fear hands hurting me anymore until you showed up on my Facebook Messenger and my body went tundra ice cold. And when you showed up at my door, I will open it and I will smile, and I will smile at you softly because I don't have a choice, but I don't want to invite you in for tea. But is it even really my choice? Has it ever really been my choice? So yep, that's the second poem. It's about being a victim of sexual abuse from someone that I was very close with. The next poem is called Good Girl. This is the third poem in the series. Good girl, they call her. Nice girl. Girl in room 173 on the bottom floor of North Topside. The only girl who decorates her door for the different seasons. This time, it's sunflowers. The only girl who walks with a limp and doesn't get invited to the illegal parties in Ben's room. The parties with the vodka, to the parties at all. The nice girl who holds her tongue, who bites her tongue hard, bites her lips hard, swallows the blood as it gushes from her torn lips, bites her lips hard because that's her only choice, because she's always been the good girl, the nice girl. I know you're all a little busy touching each other's dicks right now, but fucked, I didn't know you were this fucking whipped. Fuck your social construct because I don't need this. But every time I think about it, it's all I fucking want, is to be shaped and molded into the person that you want me to be. It's all I fucking want. Skin me down to my bones and put me in your magazines. Put me in heels and skin-tight outfits. Make me like you're in Build a Bitch workshop. Make me the girl you fucking want. Like when you said, my type of girl is the type of girl that's into me. As long as that girl, wasn't fucking me. Let me come to your fucking party. I just wanted an invite to your fucking party. I mean, good girl at the party. Good girl crashes party. Good girl will never be good enough for the fucking party. But I'll let you know when you're allowed to start talking about my body like I belong in your mouth. It's my body. It's my choice, is my business. Keep it out of your mouth, but fuck your social construct, right? Because no matter how hard I try, I will always just be the annoying girl, the good girl, the nice girl. After all, this isn't Build a Bitch workshop, so go fuck your social construct and go fuck yourself. Awesome. So that's the third poem. This is the fourth poem in the series, so we're about halfway done. This poem is called Fat Girl. Always saying we like bigger things. Bigger desserts, bigger boobs, bigger ass, bigger dick, until it comes to the bigger girl, the fat girl. The fat girl that can't fall in love because she can't find her heart deep inside her, buried beneath all that thick. The fat girl spends 45 minutes standing in front of the mirror every fucking morning trying to slim down her double chin and her back fat. stuffing her body like she is stuffing it into a stocking on Christmas Eve into medium-sized clothes because they will like her better if she is a medium, like her better, even better if she was a small. Tried not to look in the mirror because it makes her stomach ache. Can't even look in the mirror with her shirt off because it makes her, even the mirror cracks jokes at her, like the boys have always cracked jokes at her. Tries to be okay with the fact that she bloats during her period, but can't starve away her menstrual cycle. Can't even starve her body right. Glues pictures of skinny girls into the back of her notebook. Skinny girls like her friends. Sees her friends in bras and panties and envies all that thins, and she gets so angry when they say that they are fat because every time she steps onto the scale, it screams jokes at her. Please get off of me. Tries to buy Victoria's Secret panties and bras because then maybe she can love herself. The fat girl can't slim down into society's perfect image of her. Knows that people are mean. Knows that she walks funny, but that's probably not because she's fat. That's probably what you assumed. The fat girl can't fit her jeans, but sure can't fit that fucking cupcake in her mouth. The fat girl skipped lunch again and dinner. Tries not to look like that kid, the one that doesn't eat. She doesn't want to be the freak more than she already is, but she tries to make her body look on fleek, so she pinterest up enough excuses from the fat girl's guide to survival to perfection. The fat girl goes to college, teaches herself how not to eat, how to skip meals, how to love empty, how to love the taste of cotton balls soaked in water as they filled up her stomach, how to love her slowly decaying body, only drinking diet soda because there's a label that warns about the type of acid in it that leaves holes inside of your brain, hoping it will leave holes inside of her stomach so she can empty it all out, hoping maybe it will help her love her decaying body and her decaying worth, because no matter how many cotton balls she swallows and how many meals she skips, she can't even starve herself right. She's a bad anorexic, and once the fat girl, always the fat girl, a trap she will always be stuck in, hard to slim herself down into something that you will all fucking like. Okay, the next poem is my fifth poem. It's called The Heartbroken. I really like this poem. Actually, it's one of my favorites. Yeah. She was only 19, and she was trying to become something more than her freshman year of college, consuming her like she was unstoppable, and her teeth, they were becoming straight from the train tracks, and her smile, it was bright, and her hair seemed to fall just perfectly, and she met him, and she tried to learn how to love him, and she tried to fall in love with him, but something about falling just never seemed appealing to her brain. She found from the searches, she found love is just an easy way to fight with someone, to find ways he talks to other girls more appealing than she would ever be, because she will never be the pretty type of flower, just the rose he gave to another girl. She found love, just a new way to make herself a whole new type of vulnerable. She found that fate will rip you around, and love dies like flowers. Starting beautiful means nothing. Slowly the petals fall one by one and one by one, and then they no longer look beautiful, and she wouldn't never be their type of beautiful. They are finally turning a dark color, and the petals, they started to shrink up, and she experienced her first heartbreak. When she felt almost too indestructible, and she felt almost on top of the world, when she felt comfortable in her own skin, and she decided that his lies weren't hers to deal with. She decided to take down the pictures of the girls who will always be more beautiful than her, and she went into the bathroom, and she took off her hoodie, and she stripped down her shirt, and she slid off her pants to the floor, and she stepped out of them, and she stood in front of the tall mirror behind the door in her underwear, and they were tight, and they were white with a silver lining that was made out of lace, and it held her thighs just right, and a bow on the top, holding her curves, holding her hips, holding her body. Her bra was black with a pink lace and a bow in the middle, and she looked at herself for a long time. And she decided that he would not pick how perfect her body was, only wanting her body, and she decided this was her, and she was alive, and she was her own person, and she can be her own type of beautiful flower. That is such a beautiful poem. And then I'm going to read my sixth poem now. We're almost done. So I struggle with a disability called osteogenesis imperfecta, and it has affected my whole life. It will never go away. It's something that I've totally struggled with my whole life as well. And so this poem is about me learning how to identify myself as a disabled individual and kind of in a way, coming out as a disabled individual. I hope you enjoy it. Oh, so sorry. Dear kids who are physically able, you are lucky. Like, your parents must have found the four-leaf clover, lucky. You don't have to worry about tripping, lucky. Tripping over your own feet like a banana has found the sole of your shoe, yet gravity makes one foot step in front of the other, and your body makes quakes on the ground. Or being tripped inside of hallways, a prisoner in your own school, because if you get bumped, it could be critical. Critical condition in the hospital, that is. Speaking of hallways, look at that beautiful girl in her pink puffy prom dress and her silvering, sparkling heels. Boosting her as tall as her handsome stricken date. Heels at prom are a privilege. You'll never be the one in the hospital bed. You're always on the field. Sports look incredibly fun, but not from the sidelines. You never had to be the outcast of this typecast, casting a hold of the broken pieces of your body, a puzzle with chunks missing, with bones missing. You don't know the importance of value. You do not value books, and you hate them, and you complain about them, and disabled kids rely on literature to erase their boredom because books become the spine of our existence. Their stories were written a little bit differently, like there was an ink blotch in our calligraphical writing of our stories because an error in our coding causing a sickness. And I guess you could say we all just need a pep talk. Well, to find the road that leads to awesome, and that's all his president wants, even when he is in critical condition. And you can say, walking in my shoes is hell. Try walking in my shoes in heaven, and I bet you will feel like hell. You say you want to escape your life so badly, yet you have no idea. That 5-year-old, she's getting a cancer treatment again, and that 8-year-old had another seizure, and that 17-year-old that isn't supposed to walk anymore, and it hurts when she does. And you have never experienced the lifetime memories of hospitals and iodine smells. Even on the best days, running away seems like way too much work because getting out of bed is so hard, and pain becomes so tolerable. Like it just is a daily deal, the daily pills that we have to take, because if we don't take the pain away, it is a jail sentence to our bed for the next week. Not all disabilities are planted on the skin to grow. Disabilities are rough to deal with, and invisible disabilities are almost unnoticeable. Do you understand how privileged you are? Dear physically abled kids, do you understand how privileged you are? Okay, my 7th poem is also about being disabled. It's called Freak Show. Hello and welcome to the show. Take your seats and shut your mouth. No one wants the freaks in the back to panic. No one wants to pay to watch the freaks. That money might be donated to their families. As if the debt isn't already enough, and you sit in the tent and you laugh, trying to remove them from civilization. Having a disability is like an instant registration into the show. Welcome all, welcome all. If you're new here, be aware you'll be the main attraction for the while. Until you turn into a ghost of the forgotten, always being in the background, never being the star, never the star for sports and theater and art and school, only in the freak show. Attention, attention! New attraction. Come watch the obese girl with the breakable bones get hit with a tire and burst into pieces. And she was almost normal, except for her scars and her limp and her weight, making out a torture chamber, and yet she's a freak. She will never quite fit the equation right. People remain around only because they maybe feel bad. Everyone wants to be friends with the freak. Because what would they laugh at without their freak? The freak like me, struggling to find my individuality, yet being almost too different, almost too much of the freak. So, of a freak, I do not fit into either community. I wish I was thrown into the freak show, but I was a little too normal for them. Now I don't fit in either universe. I am a parallel line. I am too normal, yet not normal enough. I am my own special kind of freak. Too much of a freak for everybody else. And then this is my last poem. It's one of my favorites. It's my mom's favorite. She has a copy of it printed. It was one of the first poems I ever performed. Yeah, so. Scars. I have them on my ankle, I have them on my knee. I have them all the way up to my crippled hip, and I have them all the way up to my fucking ass. And you said, oh, the scars won't be too big. Your dumbass words, they puncture 20 times more than your fucking needles, and your lies are so damn old, and I've heard them since I was 5. Scars. Scars. They leave marks all over my legs. This time it's not from me. And seriously, you said one thing and did another. You made it longer than you could have, and you could have went through the same scar as last time. What the actual fuck? Come on, get real. You're just only trying to make a quick buck off me. You are worse than the vendors on the street corners of New York fucking City. Every time is a new surgery and a new scar. I'm going on to number 23 now. Scars. I get it though. You don't understand. You're not the girl gimping around with the white pinkish laces like a pair of shoes skiing up her legs from top to bottom. Wearing stylish shorts is impossible, or skin-tight booty shorts, or a fear of everyone seeing, stereotyping me as special. Will the scars hurt more than the shatter of my soft like silk bones? My scars. Scars. No one else in my family has them. Only the ones left with grief. Where's that from? People ask. I had surgery. Oh my god. Why? What's wrong? Because I have a specialty. Well, that's dumb, and I think you're crippled. No, fuck off. I'm not crippled just because I have a disease. I'm exactly like I was before and how I am now. Like I have feelings, and I have feelings like you, and I bet you have scars inside too. What's the difference? I wear my scars as though they are a symbol of my life and my battles, my originality, and my scars are who I am. They are part of who I am, and they will always be a part of who I am. I have scars. Each one a unique color and a unique origin, a different story behind it, a new trail of meeting how I deal with being a little bit different. I am not someone to walk all over because I am different. I am who I am, and I will not let you label me as disabled or handicapped or crippled or penguin, because I am none of those things. I am my own sort of flower, growing, glowing from the solid-ass, hard-ass concrete as people walk all over me without seeing they are hurting something so delicate, and I may need help to grow. All flowers do. I may be broken in a scarred flower, but that does not change my beauty. Scars. Today, people still see, and they still stare, and they act like they care, even though they don't. But I do not care, because I am an original, and I am Mandy, and I have scars. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you didn't, that's also fine. You probably didn't even watch the whole thing, but that's okay. Thank you so much. Again, this was for my gender and society class. Thank you.